Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cummings, and this is my vital signs video project. Today we're going to use my friend Blondie, who is on cross ties. Now you can also hold your horse, and really, if you know your horse pretty well, and you know that no matter what you do to them, they're pretty much going to stand here chill like Blondie will, then cross ties are okay, but usually you want to have a handler hold your horse, just for safety's sake. And we're going to start out with his general appearance, because the first warning sign when you're looking for anything wrong with your horse is, are they normally bright-eyed, ears up? Are they normally like angry and less cheerful? Because if that's different, they could be in pain. They could be unhappy. Is he laying down a lot when he normally doesn't? Is he sweating abnormally or pawing when he doesn't normally? Just little nuances in their behavior that might lead you to believe that you need to take their vitals because something might be up. Next thing we're going to do with my friend Blondie here is the capillary refill. And for that, we're just going to get right into his mouth. And I'm going to press my finger down onto his gums for 1 to 2 seconds until the color leaves. And then take my thumb off. And the color should then return within 1 to 2 seconds. Now, if it doesn't, that means that he's dehydrated, and you can take further measures from there. So, Mr. Blondie, I'm going to get right in here. I'm just going to press my thumb down. 1, 2, and I don't know if you could see that real well, but the color came right back. So Blondie is very healthy in that regard. Next, we're going to take Blondie's temperature. So for this, we have our thermometer, have our petroleum jelly, so I'm just going to prepare the thermometer here, and we can get rolling. What you want to do with this is put this down. You don't want to stick the thermometer in here, because that could cross-contaminate for the next horse, and just bad form. So, little petroleum jelly. Just get it all up on there. And you want to lubricate it so it's more comfortable for the horse and so that it doesn't really get stuck or anything awful like that. Okay. Now, Mr. Blondie, I'm back here, buddy. Make sure your horse knows that you're back here and you're about to do something. Because if you just stick this in there, even the kindest horse isn't going to be real pleased with you. Alright. I'm just going to pull his tail back. And turn on our lovely thermometer. And you want to make sure that when you stick it in, you stick it in kind of sideways. So that you're not in a gas bubble or a pile of poop in there, which could give you a false reading. You really want it to be against the wall of the rectum. Just to be completely sure. Now for a digital thermometer like this, you just hold it in until it starts beeping again, and it'll let you know that it's done. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Blondie's temperature is a 99 degrees, which is alright. The normal range, the average range is 99.5 to 101.5, but it's really cold out today, and we did just take off his blanket, so it's perfectly reasonable that he would be slightly below the normal range, and it's no cause for concern. Alright, so our next test is going to be the pulse. And I'm going to take his pulse for 15 seconds as dictated by the stopwatch function on this phone. And then multiply that number by 4, which will get us a 60-second reading. So, now I found his pulse in the vein right here, which is usually the easiest place to get it. And I'm going to start the stopwatch. Okay. So I got 11. So I'm going to multiply that by 4, which is 44. Which is pretty good. The average range for pulse is 32 to 44 beats per minute. So Blondie's right in that range. So once again, he is perfectly healthy. And when we take the pulse, we split it up like I did with the stopwatch there, because as you could see, even Blondie was getting a little squirrely about it. I was able to hang on and keep the pulse. But your average horse isn't going to stand still for a minute. They'll barely stand still for 15 seconds. So that's why you want to break it up like that. Now you take the pulse up here in the jugular vein, but you can also take the radial pulse behind their knee, right down in this general area. No, I don't want to pick your foot up, buddy. Good boy, though. Right down here. Or, if they're having hoof problems like laminitis, they'll have a bounding digital pulse right below the fetlock joint here, but you don't want to be able to find that, because if you can find that, that means they're really in distress. Okay, so the next test we're going to do is the gut sounds. Now for gut sounds, you're going to listen in the upper and lower quadrants on both sides of the horse. And what you want is kind of a constant gurgling or bubbling, because their gut should always be moving and always digesting. If you hear silence or a rushing like water, which would be a hypermodal gut sounds, those are both signs of a colic, and you want to take the necessary measures there. But hopefully Blondie will have nice, consistent gut sounds. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to make sure when I do this that I'm watching his ears. I'm touching him so that he knows where I am and what I'm doing, and I know that he's still happy, or at least not mad at me. And I'm take my other hand and have it down on his back leg here so I can feel if it moves and if he's going to kick me. Which, once again, it's Blondie. He's not going to do it. But in other circumstances with other horses, you always want to be sure that you're safe. Okay, so we're going to listen right here. You got a nice little gurgle there. Nothing crazy. Good boy, Blondie. Listen below. Yep. Nice little gurgling and bubbling. He's moving along well. We're going to do the other side real quick. We're going to move around here. And the same, you're going to keep the same position on the horse, just making sure that everybody's safe and happy. Very good. Once again, nice gurgling. Blondie, sit still, buddy. No. And see that right there is why you keep your leg on, or your hand on that leg. Blondie. Yep. Despite Blondie being rude, he has a nice little gurgle down there, so he is moving along well and perfectly healthy. Okay, so now we're going to take his respiration. And for that, I'm just going to watch the flank area here. And you just watch for motion there. It'll come in and go out. Each come in and go out is 1 rather than 2. And I'm going to time it on the cell phone timer again here. So I'll go for 15 seconds and then multiply it by 4. Okay, so we're going to start that timer. Okay, now I got 3, so I'm going to multiply that by 4, which is 12, which is right in the middle of the average range. So very good boy, Blondie. You are perfectly normal. So that concludes my vital signs video. Big thanks to Blondie and to my camera crew.